Hello, and welcome to the Banker's View from Sibos video series, looking at all the hot topics here in Toronto. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Ather Williams, who's Head of Business Banking at Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Ather, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Nice to see you again.
You've recently been appointed Head of Business Banking. Tell me, what is your remit and your aims within this role?
Absolutely. So I am responsible for delivering the full bank to about our 40,000 middle market and small business clients across the United States. So we think about companies between 5 and 50 million in revenue and bringing to them wealth management solutions, treasury services, lending, equipment leasing, FX, and in certain cases investment banking, but that full suite delivering to those clients across the United States.
Okay, so what is top of mind for CEOs, CFOs of these small to medium-sized companies?
It's quite interesting. So they have the same concerns actually as a lot of the large companies. So they're worried about growth. What are the growth prospects? Given all the rise of nationalism around the world, so whether it's tax policy, tariffs, how's that going to impact their capital investment long term? Many of my clients are sole proprietors and it's a family business they built, so they're concerned about wealth management, wealth preservation. So how do I set the company up for the future and sort of carry on? They're also concerned about hiring labor. I mean, so where can I find the skilled, workers to kind of drive my business forward in the future? And then lastly, they're concerned about healthcare in the United States. It's still a big issue, and so the cost of that for their businesses is a real thing on their minds. They're trying to work through those issues.
Okay, and obviously the US is moving to real-time payments later this year. How will this impact that segment of businesses?
So I think it's actually a real breakthrough for that segment because you've got companies where you're often the owner, the CFO, the treasurer, and the janitor, right? Because you're doing everything, or you have a very small team. And what real-time will do is that between the real-time payments and the invoices going with it will allow straight-through processing of a lot of receivables. So they don't have to have people on staff pulling out invoices out of emails and copying files and sort of matching payments. It all happens seamlessly for them, so it should create a lot of capacity for them to actually focus on running their business versus reconciling payments.
When we met at the Sibos in Singapore a couple of years ago, you said sort of the biggest disruptive element within payments was around regulations that were coming in. Do you think that's still the case now, or if not, what is?
So I do think it's the case now. So I think that the banks in the fintech community have sort of now gone from adversaries to partners. So that's kind of okay, how can we work together? Because most fintechs don't want banking licenses and most banks can't be fintechs. So we kind of found a nice detente and sort of working together. But things like PSD2 or open banking fundamentally change the parameter and landscape. So not only do they make banks as the custodians a lot of data vulnerable to being picked off or disintermediated, but also creates an opportunity for them to be more proactive and think about how they can create new services. So it's still, I think, the driving force is what we're responsible for and how we can work with the community to do something.
Okay, and obviously Sibos this year in Toronto, what do you think is the buzz on the floor?
So actually the buzz I've heard is around collaboration. So it's really kind of moved again from, it's us versus them, not only between banks and fintechs, but also between banks. I've had more partnership conversations today with other banks about how can we work together to create a better solution for our collective clients, because the reality is the biggest clients all bank with most of the large banks. And even in my new business, a lot of them have, they have a local community bank for certain things and they use us for other things. So how do we create collaboration in the industry? I think that's the buzz I've been hearing.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your insights, Ather.
You're welcome. Thank you.